Hey guys, it's your girl Isha, truly walking by faith, and we are back with another video. That's right, guys. I said back with another one. If this is your first time here, I like to say welcome. And if you are a returning viewer or subscriber, you know you rock with me. What? I rock with you. If this is your first time, my channel focuses on affordable fashion, lifestyle, and thrifting. And if that seems like something you would be interested in, I would love to have you stick around. So, anyway, guys, happy Easter. Today is Easter Sunday. So I would like to say happy Easter. And we are on our way to church, running a little behind, but that's one of those things where you say, okay, devil, you got to get behind me because we're going this way. So we are going to push right on through, guys. I got to keep my eyes on the road so it won't be too much interacting, face interacting, but you guys can hear what I'm saying. And I know you guys want me to be safe. So anyway, I just wanted to talk today and let you guys know as I'm heading off to church that I've been making videos for a little bit now, and I've been trying to be consistent. But most important, I know that I have to, like I said before, show up. No matter what it looks like, show up. And that's the same way I felt this morning on my way to church. I was like, I don't care what this looks like. I got to show up because I need YouTube to monetize me, guys. I need to get monetized, so I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Why? Because you know I'm a vibe. Y'all know I had to plug that real quick. But we just on our way to church, and we just going to chit-chat as we're off to church. And I have my daughter here with me. Would you like for them to say hello to you? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, she said no, guys. So we're going to respect her space. And I think that's very important, to be respectful of how other people feel. This is my journey, and everybody may not want to be a part of my journey, and I'm okay with that. But it's just something I wanted to do, and I wanted to be a content creator for a while. But the thing was, I wasn't being consistent. I wasn't showing up the way I needed to. And I feel like every time something was happening in my life, I would put down the camera, put down the camera, put down the camera. And it's like, to be honest, this is what people want to see. They want to see real life situations. They want to see, everything don't have to be, like I said before, sunshine and rainbows, high heels and lipstick. Sometimes it's going to be bonnets and robes. Sometimes it's going to be Timbs and do-rags. Because you got to get it out the mud. And I just feel like that's just, what people want to see. They want you to be authentic. And that's what I want to be. I want to be authentic. So I may show up, with lipstick and makeup on some days. And there may be days when I got my hat to the back because I'm cool like that. But I'm never going to show up with a do-rag. That's not me. But I'm just saying, some days your hair's not going to be done. Some days the lashes is not going to be curled. But you still need to show up no matter what's going on around you, because that's real life. And, that's something that I'm really trying hard to inspire my own children to understand. We can't throw in the towel when it gets hard. We can't walk away just because, today is raining. We can't just say, okay, this is it. I quit. I don't want to do this no more. Life is hard. Yeah, life is going to be hard. We're going to have a lot of days where it's going to be hard, y'all. But we're going to have to keep pushing, That's the most important part, is to keep pushing through no matter what. And, that's, like I said, that's just something that I'm trying to inspire my own girls to do. I have 3 daughters. One is 28, one is 21, and one is about to be 16. But if she keep playing with me, y'all, I don't know. She's going to have some lumps and bumps on that 16th birthday. She's going to have about 16 of them. No, guys, I'm just kidding. But I just want to, say, oh, you guys know, them teenage years, oh, baby, pray for me. Pray for me. If you a parent, if you are a parent, and I'm talking a hands-on parent, I'm not talking about the parents who, just have the title. I'm talking about hands-on, in the mud or in the gutter with these kids every day, especially this new generation of kids, this generation right here, these teenage kids. Oh, man. What y'all call yourself now? The Gen Zs? Right? That's what y'all on, Gen Zs? Or or Gen X? What are y'all? Anyway, guys, this generation right here, I think they the Gen Zs. Y'all let me know. Am I saying that right? But anyway, this generation of kids right here, it's hard because they don't understand. They think that they are smarter than us. You know, Google, AI, all of that stuff got them thinking that, you know, chat, they smarter than us because they can grab a keyboard and get to typing that they know more than us. And let me tell you something, don't get me wrong, when it comes to some of this computer stuff, yeah, they ahead of the game and they do know a little bit more, you know, than some of us. But what I'm trying to explain to my daughter a lot of times is that this 16-year-old one, the one that's about to be 16 this month, April, what I'm trying to explain to her is that what you going through, we done been through it. You know, only thing that's a little bit different is the calendar. The calendar is different, and the way y'all go about y'all thinking is different. We believed in hard work. My generation, we believed in hard work. I want to say 40 and above. You know, those are the generations that I really believe we worked hard. The 30 and under, you know, y'all kind of in between. Y'all got some of y'all, no shade. But, you know, I just feel like, honestly, like the 40 and above, I think that we are, you know, the ones who really saw our parents work hard. We still believe in working hard. And that's something that I'm trying to push on my daughter. Y'all have to go to school. Y'all have to get an education. Y'all have to do this. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. And I want her to understand that. I'm your mother, and I love you. And I may not always do things the way you feel I should do it. Or you may feel like I'm too hard on you. You know, and oh, my friend's mom let me do this, let them do this, and let them do that. Listen, I came from a mother who let me do whatever I wanted to do. But it was also because my mother was using drugs. So I say that to say a lot of times you don't know what's going on in somebody else's home. So yeah, their mother let them stay outside till 12 o'clock at night. Yeah, their mother, you know, let them have boyfriends at 13, 14, 12, whatever, 11. Yeah, I understand that. But I also understand what that was because I was that kid. I was that kid when my mom was so focused on her next hit that she wasn't focused on her children, which is sad, but it was the truth. And as a result of that lifestyle, we missed out on a lot of things. We missed out on a lot of things that we should have been getting, we weren't getting, you know, structure, guidance. But like I said before, by the grace of God, He kept us, you know. And I really believe that a part of that was my mother's passing. My mom passed away, and my aunts, I won't say aunt, my aunts, my mother's sisters, raised us. They took us in. It was 6 of us. They took us in and they raised us. And I believe that's what saved us. Because if we had continued living with my mom, it would have been bad. And so it's unfortunate that, you know, we had to lose our mother. But I feel like this is why I say you don't question God when He's working. You know, of course it hurt like everything, you know, at the time to lose your mother. But at the same time, losing my mother, it saved us. It saved the rest of us. So 6 of us had a chance. Whereas if my mom would have continued raising us, I don't believe we would have had that same chance. I think that, you know, we would have got lost in the sauce. And we all got out of school, you know, had families, raised our families, you know. Nobody did any hard time in prison. Thank God, you know. We all stayed on the right track. You know, nobody's out here strung out on drugs, any of that type of stuff. You know. So I thank God for that. I thank God for that. I know for myself, I had to learn what I wanted to be by not becoming what I saw from my mother. I had to really watch my mother and most people look at their parents and say, I want to be like my mom. I want to be like my dad. But for me, it was the opposite. I knew I didn't want to be anything like my mom. I knew I didn't want to follow that same path. I knew I didn't want to have a bunch of children, different fathers and things of that nature, because that's really what happened to us. We were raised with different fathers, and she was out there using drugs, so none of the men stuck around. My dad passed away when I was young, so I didn't even have my dad in my life. So it was hard growing up, but like I said, my aunts stepped up and they raised us, and I thank God for them every day. I thank God for them, because that's hard to take on somebody else's kids. And 6, baby, we was every age, okay? We was every age. Let me see, my youngest sister was 2 months old, so it was 2 months, 10, I think 12, 15, we was all over the place. We was in all of those ages, okay? And my aunts raised us. They jumped in together and they raised us, and I thank God for them every day. Even when they get on my nerves, y'all, and they be getting on my nerves, but I love my aunts. I thank God for them. And growing up, I used to call them my parents. I used to be like my mother and my father, because one was very strict. Growing up, I felt like she was strict. She did the, got to be in the house 7 o'clock. You had to clean up. You had to do all of these things. Had us in church. And the other one didn't play games when it came to our schoolwork. She was like, get in there and read them books, do that homework. She showed up at our school and came to, parent teacher nights, and would go to our little stupid performance that we would have at school, school plays, things of that nature. And, they taught us one taught us, this is, if you're going to be out here dating these boys, this is what you better do. And the other one was like, you better stay away from them boys. That's what you better do. So I thank God for my aunts. I do. They showed me so much, when my mom she wasn't there, and I don't fault her for it, because I know that drugs is an addiction and it's a sickness. And, I know my mom tried hard to get off the drugs, but she just wasn't strong enough. She wasn't strong enough. And in the end, we lost my mom to the drugs. So that was always a sad situation. But at the same time, like I said, it saved us. It really did. Because you can't get me to use no drugs. I ain't never used no drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. I barely drink. I would have a drink occasionally here and there. But as I find myself trying to get closer to God, I don't even be wanting to have that. I be like, I'm good. And so I'm grateful for that. Like, I love that for me. And I know, God is going to continue to open up doors for me, because he's just an amazing God. And just like I'm out here now in the South, and I sit sometimes and I be like, why am I here? How did this happen? Like, I never dreamt of living, in the South. I wanted to, like I would go and visit and I would be like, oh, this is nice. I think I want to do this. And, but I always felt like I was a city girl and I was going to stay a city girl. I was going to die in the city. And I'm trying to plant my roots here, and I'm trying to, but I don't know. Some days I'll be feeling like, I don't know, I want to go back. But I'm really here for my kid. I'm really here for her. And I don't want to get emotional because I'm almost at church. So that's why we're going to wrap up this video soon. But I'm really here for my kid, because I'm from New York. I rep that every video. And why till I die? No, but, and I really wanted to save my daughter. I wanted to keep my daughter away from them gangs. I wanted to keep my daughter away from, this lifestyle that she thinks, these people that love her, and it's a lot of confusion and a lot of things to get caught up in New York. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of things in the South as well. But I just feel like, in New York, she was just influenced so much more. And so I really feel like I'm here for my daughter. I'm really trying to do this for my daughter. I'm trying to keep my daughter. I'm fighting, y'all. But, just let me know, if y'all parents out there, how hard it is, especially if you're a single parent, trying to raise your kids, how hard it is with this, day and time that we live in. And they always feel like you the enemy, when at the end of the day, you really their biggest fan. And I don't want nothing more in this world than to see my daughter win. That's really what I want. I want my daughter to win. I want her to have a life that I didn't have. And I think I'm doing pretty good with providing that. And sometimes we give our kids a little more than we should have given them. Because I know growing up, I ain't have nothing. Because like I said, my mom's addiction. And when I got with my aunts, when I moved with my aunts, it was so many of us. But they sure gave us a lot. They definitely did. And I'm forever grateful for that. But I tried to give my own kids more than I had. And sometimes that backfires. That really does. Because then your kids feel like they entitled. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to go out here and work. They don't want to help you pay bills. They don't want to help you pay rent and all of that stuff. Because they feel like you got it. You should do it. Yeah, I do have it. But I barely have it. I barely have it. But I be doing it so well, you think that I do have it. But I really be just getting by. I really be just getting by, y'all. That's why I need to get monetized so I can, have a little bit more. But no, honestly, you want your kids to have more than you had. That's always been my biggest goal, for my kids to have more than me. Because I know one day I'm not going to be here. And that's another reason why I wanted to do these videos. So that even when I'm gone, my kids can look back and say, wow, look at my mom. My mom did this. My mom did that. So I want that for my kids. I want them to be able to look back and see, oh, look how my mom used to do this, or look how she did that. Leaving a little bit of me behind. So when I leave this world, y'all can look back and say, yeah, my mom was that girl. She was that girl. Yeah, guys. But anyway, I'm approaching church now. And I just want to wish everybody an amazing day. And continue to truly walk by faith. It's your girl, Alicia, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.